Howdy on Lex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright. Oh, nice. I was just sitting here doing nothing. I could have been emptying my inventory. I didn't, though. It's okay. I can empty it now. So... I managed to burn my way through Korean sci-fi series this weekend. Was pretty fun. It was a little silly, but still pretty fun. It was called The Silent Sea, and not as insane as Moonfall, because that movie is just totally insane. But yeah, I had some questions. I had some questions while watching it, for sure. And dang it, I keep seeing food just as I go to close my thing here. Mainly, I'd like to know how exactly, so much, I guess spoilers. I'd like to know how so much water was produced. Yeah, I still got my concussion. I've got a busted arm, it looks like. Whoa, crap. That was close. That was almost a lot more than a busted arm. And, so, the Silent Sea, uh, the climate has changed on Earth, and all the water is going away, and everybody's on water rations, and there's only about 40% of the water left on Earth. No explanation as to how this could possibly happen, but you know. And so there's a base on the moon, and something happened there. And 5 years before, the entire crew of this Korean space station, not space station, moon base, died. And so they are going to send another group out there because, and they won't tell the group why, but there's some samples they need. And those samples might save everybody. And so, ooh, wow, I can't barely move. Whoa. Hi, car. Hi, car that just miraculously appeared in my face. And so, the, oh god. The, one person they send, her sister was part of the crew. But she's an astrobiologist. And so clearly there's something not human on this base that they need. And so they get to the base. No, let me rephrase that. They almost get to the base. And Oh, I couldn't remember why the shuttle crashed. So they almost get to the moon, and the shuttle is attached via some kind of contraption to the rocket that took them there. And so the rocket is going to damage the shuttle if they don't leave. They don't, descend. But the shuttle and the rocket are in the wrong position. And so when the shuttle does eventually get free, it crashes into the moon. Okay. And so um, they have to make their way across on foot to the base and call in a rescue shuttle, they hope. And so when they get to the base, there's no one there, and they do find a corpse, but it's not someone who belongs to the original crew. So clearly, other people have been here after whatever it is that's going on in this base. He fell all the way back down. And so that was basically the setup, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good up to that point, and even after that point, I enjoyed it. But it was weak, sci-fi wise. Um, the graphics are excellent. It looked very good. The acting was good. I watched it. I watched the dubbed version. The dubbing was good, and all that. So it was a good production, but the movie itself was a little bizarre in regards to the science of things. And so I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Like, I don't see a spot to get up anywhere. And so basically what eventually happened was something is on the base with them, and on top of that, something is in the water on the base. And and here's where the science goes away. If you get infected with this water, whatever's in the water causes your blood to turn into water. But not a little bit, a lot. Like, more than is possible. And they never explain why they're turning into... Will you get on this ladder? Why the blood turns into water. They had a really cool scene where they put the contaminated water in with some blood, and then the blood just starts splitting constantly, and they try to freeze it, and eventually it stops. And then when they test the water's perfectly clean. So that was a cool scene. But again, how? They never explain how. They don't really explain where the water comes from either. Uh, clearly they got it from the moon. And what eventually happens is they discover this girl, and the girl is an experiment by the team that was there before, and she is immune to the water, and she's like their 73rd try to get someone to be immune to this water. But she's not just immune, she's not human. She's faster, stronger. The water heals her. I don't know where to go to find these bad guys. This says down and over this way. I guess I should look for that, huh? And so, in the end, everybody but like 3 people die. And the girl walks out onto the surface of the moon without a spacesuit on. Which, of course, makes no sense either. There's no explanation for any of this stuff, and that was my one problem. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it. It was an interesting story, I guess. Um, so what's funny to me though is that it's kind of the story from Doctor Who. So Doctor Who being the British sci-fi series about a time traveler who, travels through space and time. And he goes places where things have gone bad and tries to save people. Depending on the season, I have a real issue with one of the more recent seasons because they completely changed that. But every other season was basically, I'm here, things go wrong, I will fix it. And then they had a season where the guy was like, you know what, things go wrong, people die, it's not my business. I hated that season. I hated it so much. And man, I don't really care about the robotic sledge. Although I guess it's I'll take these, I guess. All right. Let's take we just did a clear. I guess they're all clears or wait for nighttime. So so they got this Doctor Who episode, and one of the things that occurs during the Doctor Who stuff is that sometimes something is historically required to happen. And on the show, they call it a fixed point. And so, if you change a fixed point, it would destroy everything, right? And so this episode was, I think it was a Christmas special, maybe, and it was a fixed point. In that it was called the Waters of Mars, and the fixed point was that everyone dies. And because everyone dies, the granddaughter of the commander of the base becomes the first human to use warp drive. And so, therefore, if those people don't die, then humans don't gain warp drive at that point, and the rest of important history doesn't happen. And so, when he realizes what it is, he had just come away from... I don't remember. I don't remember exactly where this episode falls in the timelines. This particular doctor had some pretty doctor oriented story arc, and people around him were either dead or left in other dimensions that they couldn't come back from, stuff like that. And so he was very upset on the show, and so his plan here was he had to leave them, and it kind of broke him a little bit. And so then he decides that no, what's the point of being a Time Lord if you can't change time? And I think he says that, time will bend itself to me, kind of thing. And so he goes in to save the people from the creature that lives in the water on Mars that takes over your body, and they can't get to Earth because all 70% of Earth is water or whatever, and it would spread through humanity pretty rapidly and destroy humanity. And that's why the base originally died, was because the commander detonated the reactors to kill the thing, to stop it from being able to take the emergency rocket back to Earth. And and so Doctor Who tries to stop it, and I think everybody dies, but that's not true. Some of the people live, but the commander gets back to Earth and is furious because he told her what was supposed to happen, and she demanded that he leave her there, and then he forced her to go with him. And so then she walks in the house and kills herself. Because she's, in her mind, destined to die, and if she doesn't die, then her granddaughter won't do what she's supposed to do, right? So it does alter history, because now she's back on Earth. Nobody knows how she got there. I believe the granddaughter still did the thing she was supposed to do, but this time, instead of doing it in memory of her grandmother, who kicking one loose can, sneaking over trash makes no sound. Okay, cool. And a weapon flashlight mod, and some iron gloves, which is cool because I just got my first pair of gloves anyways. Are there any? Nope. Okay. So yeah, it was. It kind of felt similar to that. It kind of felt similar to the Doctor Who episode. Oh, we're done here. I mean, it wasn't the Doctor Who episode, obviously, because the Doctor wasn't in it, and the production value was higher on the Korean version. But yeah, it did feel a little like it did feel a little bit like they stole their idea from Doctor Who. And there wasn't... the creature, though, was the little girl, and the little girl was just a mutated human, I think. Honestly, they didn't explain a whole lot on the show. They kind of went in for a sci-fi setting, but went light on the... my God.
Get the hell out of here. I'm gonna make you an offer. Let's get one.
My God.
You're not working with me. You're working.
Well, I mean, it's not even my gun anymore, right? This isn't my gun. This is the precursor to my gun. Nice. I probably should head back to my base, though, and unload some of this stuff. What do we get? We got arrow rest mod, we got laser sight mod, burst mode, trigger. We might be able to fit stuff in. You know what? I can always put it in my bike. I can put stuff in my bike. Other show I watched over the weekend-ish was, I would guess a Russian... Eastern European. I actually don't know. They spoke English for quite a bit of it, so I don't know. I don't know what the ethnicity of my movie was. But I watched the Rubicon, and that was also a sci-fi movie. Nope. Man, you'd think I could remember how to use this after using it so much, but I can't. I don't remember how it works. That can be scrapped. Look, we're down to 1 hour left on my headache. I still haven't found any pills for it. So, I watched Rubicon, and that was interesting. I was trying to remember how bad off the planet was. It was another one where Earth was, in trouble, and they wanted some sittings. Nope, not sittings. They wanted some readings from this space station, the Rubicon, and so they went there, and while they were there, a toxic cloud covered everything, and so they then kind of fought back and forth over whether or not they were going to take the algae that they had created back to Earth or not. And so this is a weird one. The one character was this woman who was a soldier, and she had a implant in her neck. And the implant, it was supposed to connect back to home base, and oh, look, no, I just got the schematics to make the gun that I just picked up. Nice. And so I don't know, it was supposed to like feedback her biometrics and stuff, but apparently it was also signal controlled contraceptive, which is bizarre. And so because they lost contact with Earth when this toxic cloud came through and killed everybody, she got pregnant, and then she didn't want to risk going back down to Earth, and so she sabotaged their way back down to Earth, and then that was the dude who wanted to go back to Earth with all the algae had tried to kill himself when the when the toxic cloud came through, and then when she wouldn't let him go back down with the algae, then he did. Put himself in the airlock and drained all the oxygen out. And so then, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years later, they show the little girl having grown up on the station, talking to someone over the radio, some kids over the radio who lived in the southern continent refugee camps as they were finding more and more survivors from the toxic cloud that had now gone away. It was okay. They never did explain the toxic cloud, but at least I can gather where a toxic cloud comes from, not one person fills a whole room full of water because their blood turns into water, like the other show. Alright, we should just have a couple more guys in here. I hope so, because I'm running out of bullets. Yep, I know, it's up above me. Read it. Don't need it. That guy hit me from like 10 feet away? Alright. Now we can head back. Nope. Now we can get this treasure. I don't need it. Already read it. Scrap that. And then we'll go see what the trader offers me. And then we'll call it a day. If I can find my way back out of here. Come on, dude. Run a little bit faster. Still no pain pills for my concussion. This is like 4 days of looting now. And there's still 54 minutes left on my concussion. Oh, I can't get up this thing. I can't jump. Everything's blurry. I'll take first aid kits. Alright, we'll grab that. And then with that, be by the small things, leaving the light. I will talk to you later.